Sometimes I get a little bit of a cringe when I'm talking to people outside of the church, and they talk about this church as my church. Well, what do you do at your church, Pastor? Well, you know, Pastor Kevin's church. It's not my church. It's the Church of Jesus Christ, and I have a role to play in it as pastor, but it's not my church. God help me if I ever look at you as somehow my possessions. Nuh-uh. Nuh-uh. And God help you if you ever raise me up to be, well, Pastor Kevin's my guy. Yes. God help you at a lot of levels. But you see, it isn't about me. God's put me in a role here, and I'm trying to do it to the best of my ability. And to the best of God's ability within me. Amen. But it's about Jesus. It's not about Calvary Chapel. Calvary Chapel, the first time I went to a Calvary Chapel service where we weren't, I had been to one once before where we went as the musical, as the worship team to just step in and do that. Was the first time I ever did that. Oh, that is different. And then we started going there. And the first time I went in, there was a kinship to my heart in the kind of person I am. I've been in lots of churches, especially doing music ministry. Boy, you get to go to a lot of churches. We'd go anywhere where they would invite us. No cost. If you want to take a free will offering, fine. If you don't want to, fine. If you want to give us something, fine. If you don't, fine. Whatever. If you want us to come and minister and talk about Jesus Christ, we'll be there. And that's the way we did it. So we got invited to big churches, little churches, weird churches, right-on churches, traditional churches, wild and woolly churches, Roman Catholic churches, all kinds of stuff. So it's seeing the different ways that people worshiped. And when I walked into Calvary Chapel, something in my heart just went, this feels like home. And that's why I got involved in Calvary Chapel as a movement, and then eventually we planted the church here in Pittsburgh and so forth. But that's because that's where I feel comfortable, and obviously some of you feel comfortable with that too. That it ministers to you. It doesn't to some people. Some people come in and it's like, okay, don't you have any candles? I've heard that. And it's not, I think it's not something wrong with candles. Come Christmas Eve, we have a candle for everybody. But you know what? Some people, that sits in their heart to the person that they are and their journey of faith to the point where that's how they can worship the Lord in spirit and truth. Now, if you're worshiping the Lord with candles, but not worshiping the same Jesus, that's a problem. But provided that you are worshiping Jesus, whether it's an organ and a piano and a hymnal, or whether it's guitars, drums, kind of folky like we do it, whether it's smoke and electric guitars, whether it's no music, been in those churches where there are no instruments in the church, no instruments allowed in the church, based on a theological understanding of theirs. But you know what? They were worshiping Jesus. And they were preaching Christ crucified. Our brothers and sisters, we could sit down and have interesting conversations about, well, what about all the Old Testament and the 10-stringed instruments and all that? And they'll say that that's the Old Testament. I live in the New Testament. Show me the instrument in the New Testament. You won't find one. Okay, so those are interesting discussions. But you see, we can get hung up on, well, that's my team. This is my team. Of course, we're the best team. Yeah, everybody's okay, but kind of second class. No. And the world looks at the church and is kept from it many times because of the way the church behaves among itself. Is bad doctrine okay? No. But bad doctrine includes using the Word of God to destroy a brother or sister. We need to be careful. We need to love the church in all its expressions and the people, because that's the church, as much as we are called to love the world. Right?